Hello and welcome back to another video, and today it is my National League South and National League North predictions. So make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know why my predictions are all wrong in the comments below, and let me know your predictions down there as well. And yeah, let's get into the predictions. So quick disclaimer, I don't know a massive amount about the National League South or National League North as much as I used to, especially the National League North. But let's start off with the National League South. In last, I've got Hungerford, obviously. Sorry, Hungerford. Didn't have an incredible season last year. I think it'll be the season they'll drop down. In 21st, Eastbourne. I think this is a bit harsh from me. I think Eastbourne will drop down as well. 20th, Dorking, just staying up. I think there's only 2 relegation spots due to the restructuring. Don't quote me on that. But I think Dorking will have an okay year. Again, with Weymouth, one of the new promoted sides. I think, obviously, it's hard to compete when you're one of the new promoted sides because you've got such a massive gap in budgets from the 7th tier to the 6th tier. 18th, Tunbridge. I do hope the Tunbridge boys stay out for Marky Davison, and the boys obviously done incredibly well with the Super Playoffs and winning all those games to get up. So hopefully Tunbridge do stay up, and hopefully they do beat Maidstone as well. That would be absolutely brilliant. In 17th position, we've got Chippenham. Chippenham, I think, will have an okay year, standard 17th. Again, with 16th, Oxford, pretty standard year. Not much to talk about. Again, 15th, Concord, another standard year. Mid-table, not too much to talk about there. With Sammy Moore, obviously, they've done really well last season. I think, obviously, Concord in the National League. National, we've been in Notts County versus Concord. Would have been an interesting game. So again, with Slough had an incredible season last year. I think they'll drop off as well. Dulwich in 13th. They had I thought they were going to finish higher than they did last season, but obviously, again, as I said, that drop, that sort of jump you have to make from the 7th to the 6th is quite big, and I don't think they'll be. I think they'll do okay this year, and obviously adapt a little bit better. Hampton and Richmond, I think, obviously, they've had a lot of playoff positions. Obviously, when Ebbsfleet played them in the playoffs. Obviously, under the now Woking manager, and obviously probably should have got promoted in the playoffs against Braintree. Obviously, they didn't. They're still in the National League South now. St Albans, love St Albans, love the ground, in a park. Nice club as well. They're always in and around those playoffs, always in and around it. Sometimes they drop away, sometimes they get in the 7th and then just get knocked out anyway. But yeah, I think St Albans just going to have another nice little year in the National League South, just doing what St Albans do, just finish mid-table, enjoying the National League South life. In 10th, we've got Wealdstone. Wealdstone, again, they're always in and around there, Wealdstone. But again, I don't think they're going to be able to do it and just have a nice little year in the National League South like St Albans. 9th, Braintree. This clearly will be lower, I think. Braintree. I don't know how they got promoted a few years ago with non-contracts and probably one of the smaller budgets. I think the National League South that year was very low quality, and obviously haven't got promoted. That was probably one of the lowest years of quality for the National League South. Obviously, Braintree getting promoted in the end. I think Dartford were gutted, not getting promoted that year. I think there was a real poor year for the National League South. But I think it's much more competitive this year, and obviously last season it was much very good with Woking and Torquay. In 8th position, we've got Hemel Hempstead. I accidentally forgot and put Concord twice about Hemel Hempstead. But yeah, obviously lost Jordan Parks. But yeah, Hemel Hempstead going to have a nice little year. South, what was that? 7th, Bath City. Bath City. I like Bath City, obviously. I want the Bath City boys to do well. I wouldn't mind a little trip to Bath in the National League. I think to Torquay. So would Wrexham as well. But yeah, I think it's going to sneak into those paths. I think they've got a new stadium in mind, Twerton. So maybe Bath could pull off a shock. Billericay signed Jordan Parks, like I mentioned again. Glenn Tamplin, I think he's gone on about reducing budget. He's linked with a massive player who's played. He's in the peak of his career and a professional player. So much for this reducing the budget rubbish. And now he's trying to sign massive players on, I presume, massive contracts as well. But again, with Glenn Tamplin, you have an incredible squad, but what it does come with is an absolute circus. Last season, I said 7th, didn't even get in the playoffs with such a massive budget. There was drug scandals. It was mental. Harry Wheeler got sacked and then going to Maidstone, done a crap at Maidstone, went back to Billericay, didn't even get in the playoffs. So, yeah, Billericay, weird club. I think they'll get in the playoffs this season. Who knows what happened there. If they get into the National League, it's going to be... Jesus, what's going to happen if they get into the National League? 5th, Welling. Welling are always in the playoffs again. Just just Welling, isn't it? You know, they just get into the playoffs, lose. Really unfortunate to lose to Woking last year. I think that maybe that could be the year for them. I think they've got a new manager. Don't quote me on that, but I think nice ground as well. But yeah, Welling just can do a playoff position for them. Fourth, Dartford. Dartford, I think, obviously, 2 new managers. Last season proved how good of a manager Tony Berman was and what an incredible job he's been doing for them. Because the 2 new managers struggled, I think. I saw them in the pre-season friendly, they're done okay. Darren McQueen is probably on that verge of National League South. He's too good for National League South, but probably sometimes not consistent enough for National League. So he's a really good player. They've got some decent players in there. Dartford always create some stars like Alfie Pavey, etc., etc. But again, I think it'll be a playoff position for Dartford, but they'll probably lose again. Maidstone in 3rd. I think I don't know about John Steele this season. Maybe he's a bit of a dinosaur. Maybe he won't be able to get them up. But I think Maidstone again. I don't think they'll win the playoffs, but they've signed some okay players. They've signed some interesting players like Ella Kobe dropping down to the National League South. I think that was a bit of a weird signing, to be honest. But yeah, I think they're having an okay year in 3rd. In 2nd position, we've got Chelmsford again. Chelmsford are like Welling. They always get in the playoffs and they always lose. Obviously, they lost to Ebbsfleet a few years ago. But I don't think it's going to be another standard year for Chelmsford getting the playoffs and probably lose again. In 1st, got Haven't really... I don't know where their money come from, but they're just spending some incredible players. They've got 3 players from Ebbsfleet, and I really do hope Haven't go up, and hopefully Andy Drury, Sam Magri and Danny Kedwell get back playing into the National League, and hopefully they can beat Maidstone to the title. And hopefully Danny Kedwell can score at the Gallagher, Andy Drury and Sam Magri. That would be absolute scenes. But yeah, I think Haven't will win the National League South. Let's go on to the National League North. So if we look at the National League North, again, I don't know absolutely nothing about the National League North. I really don't know a lot about it. But in 22nd, we've got Kings Lynn. Never even heard of this club before. That's why I put them bottom. Again, as I said, massive jump between the 7th and the 6th. And I think the National League North is probably more competitive than the National League South. I think if you look at the teams at the bottom, like York near the bottom of the National League North compared to Oxford City, the National League South. So in 21st, Alfreton, I think obviously didn't have a great season last year. I think they're going to struggle this year and not have a great year as well. In 20th, you got Farsley Athletic, Farsley Celtic. Never heard of this club before. Never heard of them. But yeah, I think they're going to just stay up. I think 2 relegated teams. 19, Kettering. I'm really happy Kettering. We're playing them going down this week when I was sort of 6-0 in the conference. So yeah, it's nice to see Kettering back in the National League North. Hopefully they can do well. 18th, Curzon Ashton club, my favourite club in the National League North. Hopefully they can do well. The Curzon Army, they haven't got a huge fan base, so they can't really do, unless they can do some incredible things, but I don't think they're going to do that. 17th, Leamington, again, standard year, nothing too special for the Leamington boys. 16th, Guiseley, nearly relegated last season, but I think they're going to just have a standard year. Hope they'll probably be a little bit of a relegation worries at times, but I think they'll stay out of it in the end. 15th, Telford, again, standard year, mid-table. Same with Altrincham and same with Boston as well. Southport, again, they've had some troubles over time, but a 12-player finish for them will be okay. 11th, Bradford, it's PA. I think they're one of those small teams that have done well and got to the playoffs and stuff, but I think they'll have a pretty boring year and finish mid-table this year. 10th, Gloucester. How Gloucester in the National League North, I don't know. One of the teams that would shift across, and then they had another team that would shift across and then would shift back. Obviously had with the Gateshead and stuff, but 10th, Gloucester, going to have a good year, an okay year. 9th, Hereford. I was expecting them to do so much better than they did last year, but didn't do great in the end. They were nearly relegated, close to the relegation zone in the end. But I think Hereford are going to have a good year. It'd be absolutely incredible if Hereford could get back to the National League. And obviously the amount of promotions they've had has been spectacular. But I think Hereford would have a 9th place position. 8th, Spennymoor. They were in the playoffs last season and I think they lost to Chorley late on. They did really, really well, but obviously had a red card, which obviously hindered them a little bit. But 8th position, I think they'll be disappointed with that, but I think they're going to have a little bit just miss out on those playoffs. In 7th, we've got Darlington. Darlington, I think, will have a okay year, but probably won't do incredibly well in the playoffs. 6th, Gateshead, again, obviously, what's happened over the summer. They've obviously got their club back. They're back on the scene. I think it's very harsh for them to put them in the National League North, but I think they'll have a good year. I think they'll do well. I think they'll get the sort of fans back on side, people coming back to the stadium, the Gateshead International Stadium, have a good year and maybe win those playoffs. In 5th position, we've got Blythe Spartans. I really love the name. Obviously, they're just synonymous with the FA Cup. Blythe. and hopefully they can have a good year. I do like Blythe, and hopefully get into those playoffs. Fourth, Kidderminster. Obviously Luke non-league YT's team. I think they have a good year. I think they've had a few years where they're just out of a bit unlucky. Obviously had two change of managers last season. They had Mark Yates who dropped down from Macclesfield. But yeah, I think they'll have a good year this season. Third, York City. They're kind of favourites for the title. But I'm not going to put them top. I think they'll have a good year, and I think it'd be great to have York back. We've got the big centre back from Tranmere. I've got his name. Steve McNulty. I think he's going to be an absolute beast. He's going to be one of the stars of National League North. I think they'll have a good year, finish third. Second, Brackley. Brackley, obviously, so unfortunate to not get promoted. They've been really up there lots of the times and just missing out in the end. But second for Brackley will be a good finish for them. In third, we've got Chester. I think probably the most famous managerial duo in a long, long time. I think Chester will get promoted back to the National League. So yeah, that is my National League North and National League South predictions. I'm sure looking back on these, they're going to be some absolute clangers, I'm sure of it. Let me know why I'm wrong in the comments below for so many of them, as I probably am. And yeah, leave all your comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all later. See you later.